Kembo Kembo, Nakatanzambi Yamazulu, Kimfumu Kyakuisa, Betwabu Bana Betu, Betwabu, Kiambote, Sawbona, away Nusiemi. He lives in you, he lives in me. For all the children that have seen this movie and adults here in America, this is a hidden message that was really intended for Bana Betu and Bana Betu and Black people who were scattered across the globe, because the song is referencing Tatanzambi and Pungo Telendo, as we know as Isiah Congo, that lives in all of the Bantu people, Simba, and also the connection of Simba Wayuda, the Lion of Judah, to show you where real Jerusalem is in Embo, Congo, Africa.
Oh yeah.
Hallelujah. So today, first of all, giving honor and glory to Tatanzambi and Pungo Telendo for what he is doing. There are so many things that are happening. There's so many things that are starting to come to pass. Things are starting to change. I want to honor all of the Maliki Congo, Kuswa Congo, the Mwandan Semi, all of the Yisolele's ancestry descendants, Nkulu Kulu, bringing out this truth. We honor all of our Bantu brothers and sisters in this awakening. Our Nabi Masa, him and Kefas did a wonderful video on the Curacao lineage. I've actually went to Curacao because my parents that was their honeymoon, and they wanted to do a 50th anniversary. And the funny thing about it, they ended up just going back to see how everything had changed. And I went there and I actually learned things that they didn't even know. And the lady that did the tour is the one who kind of validated that I was on the right track when she said, yeah, we know we're the real Jews, but we just don't say it out loud. And that's one of the reasons why we're getting ready to do this video, because this is going to be addressed to the elders of the Bantu people. I know I'm 47, so I'm not quite an old elder. I know my brother Abi, he's in his 60s, like Pastor Mello. Brother Baya, he's, I believe, in his 60s as well, maybe late 50s. Many of those that Brother Massa had said he interacted with in Congo, the elders of the Tokuist Church, the elders of the Kimbanguists, the elders of the Agikuyu Seers, and especially the elders of the diaspora, those who know but do not speak. So Brother Alex and I, being that he's also a younger person in this awakening, I had a conversation with a sister yesterday, and she talked about the fact that, we really wish that more elders, like I know the King of Embo, he did a really good video, and the brother, and I know, I can't remember his name, but the guy who spoke with Brother Yanata, he had a picture with him talking the truth about where the Zulus come from. I know there's a few out there, and there's some that's not on YouTube, but for the diaspora, the problem is with us, with reconnecting to our roots, it's something that we all need to really be in tune with. And unfortunately, because of certain interactions that have caused turmoil, which, unfortunately, we think the enemy somewhat had to do with some of that.
I don't think it's turmoil. Yeah. I think it's just a little bit of what's the word? Friction. It's causing some friction,
Oh, friction. Well, when I say friction, I'm talking about this whole thing about the attitude towards Africa. the attitude towards Embo.
Yeah.
That's coming from the diaspora for those of us who are basically intellectually deprived. And so because there's those who have another agenda that's causing issues for us to learn, this is why we're calling out, because we know, I have met them, and I know that there are people who are elderly in the diaspora, that many of them understand what we discuss on these videos. But sadly, just to just to kind of lead into what I'm talking about, I had a conversation with a brother here in my hometown, my city here in Pueblo, and the very first thing that came out of his mouth was fear. The people who know are afraid to talk about it. And
But what's the thing that the Most High has given us?
Look,
not the spirit of fear.
Exactly. So the main issue here that we're having is what they call lost in translation, which is the whole purpose of what was the reason for the captivity, was to create a disconnect on purpose. The disconnect was meant to cause us to be cut off from knowledge and the source of our power through deception and lies of those who knew the purpose of the transatlantic slave trade.
Yeah, because when the Most High finally took us into captivity for being disobedient, we became who? The Gentiles.
Right.
We became just like them. That means we have lost everything. So now if you want to go back home, someone must teach you. So how can you teach about your own history when you lost it? Someone on the continent must teach you things. That means now we must unpurge the bad wine that we have within ourselves, okay, and put in the new wine. We cannot take the Gentile mentality and mindset on how to treat people, how to communicate, and what they've taught us into our true homeland, which is in Congo.
Right. And just to kind of bring up a conversation that I had with one of my coworkers, whose family member happened to be a member of secret society lineage. He had the opportunity to actually read through and also observe the Freemason Bible. And so because of that, as we talked about it, he said that they know that there's a hidden agenda to hide the truth. Because the reality of the situation is that in the world that we live in, those who have knowledge keep those in the dark when they choose not to disclose the things that they know, especially in the situations where it actually benefits those who need to come to the light. So,
and also, the more light we put onto the enemy, the less areas he can run away and keep hiding the truth. The thing we have to understand with Satan is, as long as he's still in that shadow of illusion, he'll keep going. But the moment you start revealing things, he has less area to run around, and also to deceive people. So this is why we have to put the truth out, because when we really have him within us, Satan cannot hurt us. And that's where he gets all, frustrated and angry at us. We also have to be not fear. We don't have to have fear that we're going to die. Because if we die, it's because the Most High has ordained it, not because of Satan.
So, like one of the scenes in the first Lion King movie, Simba, is, especially those that know the Bantu, it's not just a Swahili word. Simba comes from when Yakuba was grabbing the heel of Esau, and Simba the significance in the Bantu languages is to stronghold. It was then used as lion because the people who spoke Swahili knew that Simba was referencing the Simba wa Yuda, the Lion of Judah.
Mhm.
Okay, so these people who spoke Swahili knew that the true heritage of the Lion of Judah is through Bantu Black people, is through the people who came from the people who are known as Yisolele or Israela, not Israel. But that is why when, because people don't even know, Disney is one of the most demonic systems that was meant to look nice because of the nature of the person who founded it.
Exactly. And then also
right.
in the movie, right? His dad did not mind to die to try to fight against Scar. He didn't run away. He knew that even though he might die, that he would be where he has to be, and then to also guide his son. So our elders need to understand that if you don't give up the knowledge and wisdom to the generation that the Most High has chosen and anointed, you know, it is like losing a library, you know.
And if you go back to past videos of Brother Messiah, who was with us, myself and Brother Yanata, we broke down that movie with the understanding that it was intended to mock Bantu people. We just didn't know it because at the time, if you really want to put it in perspective, that movie was signaling to the elite, if you will say, that the Lion of Judah was starting to wake up the nations. Because I know when I heard that song that they first started, it was the funniest thing because I'm in college and the tears just started to roll down my eyes like, why do I feel this song so powerful?
Yep.
And it was like it was a calling to the nature of who we are as Bantus that began to start throwing a sense of there's something missing. Okay. So I want to read First Peter or Kepa, and I want people to understand that the context of this scripture, unless what other people have been interpreted as, was to Bantu elders.
Now, we love our elders also. We love our elders very much. Okay. We're not trying to be disrespectful to you guys at all. We're just showing you maybe some of you guys have unfortunately deviated from the path, just like we have deviated, you know, because we are all not perfect. So we almost correct one another with love, with Zola.
So this is to give you an idea. And of course, Brother Massa, you know, this is why he's been working so hard to get the elders to speak, because he knows and we know now that Christianity took this out of context, because this is really talking to our ancestors, where it says, to the elders among you, I appeal as a fellow elder and a wisdom, and of course, this is supposed to be Isiah Congo or Kuswa Congo, Yesu Christu, okay, the Bantu word names, sufferings, who also will share in the glory to be revealed. So what is he saying? He's saying he knows that as elders, we're going to suffer with Hamashiach. So it doesn't do you, it makes us to where you have to understand many of the things that has happened to us as a people. One is because we rejected what he's telling us. And we were suffering because of for not doing our due diligence to stay with the Most High. because we rejected Kuswa Congo and we received another Jesus, okay? So he's saying here, you will share in the glory to be revealed, which will come. This is what the Most High said. You can't always expect to have the glory right away. It will come. Be shepherds. Now it says right here, be shepherds of Tatanzambi's, a Congo, Congo's flock. Okay. Now I know that the Kimbangwit, the Tokus will say Deus, and Pastor Mello did a really great video to help them understand that in the Portuguese, that Deus really is talking about Zeus and not the Most High. Okay, that we called him a Congo, Congo. Okay, that it's these shepherds of a Congo's flock that under your care, watching over them, not because you must, but because you are willing. And as Tatanzambi wants you to be, not pursuing dishonest gain. Now, I want you to emphasize this part, because that portion that he's talking about is what happened to us as a nation, especially those that even followed the real Messiah, okay? It says, be eager to serve. Okay, so now let's go back to what happened in Congo 500 plus back in 1482, okay? The elders, and this is the history they hid from us, at that time were very much aware of their role as shepherds. The problem that happened is we forgot to do exactly what Kepa is saying, that you are to what? Be shepherds. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Even Isiah told him himself, if you love me, feed my sheep. And he asked the question 3 times, do you love me? And the problem with love that we have is we have to get out of that carnal mentality of love, but the spiritual love given back to the Most High and what he wants, okay? It's not about your position. If you have the top seat, you're number 1. It's, are you doing the work for the Most High to feed his people? Because when you have children, as an elder, you're supposed to pass down the knowledge and wisdom that the Most High has given to you, to your younger generation. And we see it throughout the scriptures, even in the book of Enoch, All
right. So what happened at this time is our elders began to bicker amongst themselves about the secrets, about who was getting what secrets, who wasn't getting. Not as some of the videos we've seen with Brother Massa and Brother Kefas, that our elders began to think about more of themselves than the flock. Okay. They knew Kuswa Congo, they knew Isiah, but they did not, they were looking for more because of what was happening around Embo, with all the changes, with everything that was happening through Christianity, Islam, and other tribes.
Mm-hmm.
They started to do exactly what he said: do not pursue dishonest gain.
Because the dishonest gain is the worldly desires and positions of status, okay, not the spiritual status that's better than the carnal status.
Exactly. So that's why, as our Agikuyu seer spoke to us, said, when the Catholicism system came to us, the elders received a false teaching which many people in the world at the time thought it was a great teaching or positive. But when you look at the history of the Catholic Church, whenever they claimed something, there was violence that ensued with it, even if they didn't know what they were talking about.
And now, if we recall what Mikhail told us also, was that the people on top, the people who were rulers, who were set up as our elders to be rulers, they are the reason why we fell, because they chose to do what was against Scripture. But in the eyes of the Most High, we are all at fault as well, you know. But we also still have to also take in the portion of fault as well for each individual person. We cannot just throw it to one person and also not also try to bear the burden together as one.
So then it says, and when the chief shepherd appears, you will receive the crown of glory that will never fade away. So when we talked about Pastor Mello and the third secret of Fatima, this is the essence of why Simon Toko became such a force of nature to be dealt with among the heathen nations and among our people, because he was coming to show the errors of what the elders had done that caused the Kadia Mpemba and the Mundele to be able to dominate our people. Okay.
We also have a different understanding what elder is, right? We have the carnal elder, and then we have what the Most High perceives as a real elder, you know?
Right. Now we know, and this is kind of why, you know, we know that there are traditions of elders. I wanted to bring this scripture in because I forgot about it when I was talking yesterday with you. I wanted to talk about what Isiah said about traditions. And this is part of our issue that caused our nation to fall apart. Yeah. Because the Messiah, Hamashiach himself, was not always in tune with the traditions of elders. Hence the reason why they aimed to kill him, because
he was going against everything that they were saying.
Right. So let me see it. It's going to be the Matthew. Let's see, your tradition.
Yeah. So when it comes to mankind, right? It's sad that people who think they're elders, right? But they've been in church for 40, 50 years, still preaching the same Christian nonsense, and then they assume that they're an elder and they should have a seat at the top. When the Most High sees you have no knowledge and no wisdom and understanding of the Scripture, so how can you be an elder? An elder is not always your age. It's the wisdom and how close you are to the Most High.
Right. And see, that's one of the reasons why, when we look at what happened with our slavery, this is something that became the issue with tribalism and all the other things that the Bantu teachings were happening. Because, you know, we know, for those who are woke, the Bible didn't stop at Revelations. We had the Tula. So it talks about Mark 7:13. Let's go with, now we're going to start with verse 10, where he says, for Massa said, honor thy mother and thy father. Now, for especially the elders that are watching in the diaspora, you got to shake Christianity out of your brain. When it comes to the context of this, he's talking to the Abantu Benduela, which is what we call the people of the way. Away, Nusiemi, Kambote, Yahweh, Yesway, okay? Or he says, honor thy mother and thy father. Whoso curses father or mother, let him die to death. Now remember, this is what was being taught by the Bantu elders. which was being distorted by the Khazar intervention. And that's part of the problem. Because our elders allowed the Khazars to start having a say in many of our things. And it says, but ye say, if a man shall say to his father or mother, and it says it is Corban, that is to say, a gift, by whatsoever thou mightest be profited to me, he shall be free. And ye suffer him no more to do aught for his father or his mother, making the word of Tatanzambi of none effect to your tradition, which you have delivered, and many such like things do ye. So what happened with Bena Kongo and his sons, and when he started to accept Christianity's teaching through Catholicism, is he started to make the Bantu teachings of none effect, which was the Tula, because Catholicism by itself is all traditions and rituals. Okay, from the beginning to for the time you walk into church to the time you leave the church, it's all rituals. Okay, and those rituals were incorporated through the paganism that came from Nimrod, because he's the one that was responsible for why the 7 churches in Revelations began to falter, because of the interference that him and Shaitani started to have, that caused especially the Church of Laodicea to become lukewarm.
Here's something that's very interesting. Okay, yeah. Let's give them an example, right? We understand that when someone gets older, it's sometimes hard for them to remember things. We understand that. So let's just say, right, that, someone threw a rock into our house and I'm your son, right? But then you tell me, oh, let's go beat the guy up. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, Dad, but it says in the scriptures this. So me telling you what it says in the scriptures is not me being dishonorable to you. I'm just reminding you because you may have not forgotten. So people also have to put in the context when someone is saying something to someone. That doesn't mean that they're being disrespectful. That doesn't mean that they're trying to go over the person's age or their position. Maybe they just forgot.
Right. So just like what happened in Kamata before, Persia, Babylon, even what happened with Maccabees and the Greeks, the Roman alliance that actually started between us and the Bantu people, which is why Pastor Miller said a lot of the ancient Greek Latin comes from the Bantu teachings. And also even the interaction with the Khazars, that they now claim the identity that they stole. Okay. What happened was our elders had a tendency to cause interaction against the Tula. And so now what happened to us 500 plus years ago is the Most High got tired of it. So he said, if this is what you want to be like the other nations yet again, get away from me. And he kicked us out of Embo. Those of us who were the most rebellious, he made the elders in Embo to become suppressed by the Mundele or the Kadiampemba. And then, of course, there were those who were scattered among the world. And Kepler did a great job of teaching, okay, that's what the Most High decided when he said, I shall send thee into Kamata or Egypt again. And the way the Kadiampemba or the Mundele or the liars hid it is they didn't tell you that the people who took you into captivity represented Egypt spiritually. Because the Knights Templars, that is their religion. ancient Egyptian connections. Okay. Everything that you see in their symbolism is Egyptian. Okay. Even the names of the gods are in the English language. So what we're saying here is that now, in this time that the 400 years have now passed, there are those who have maintained traditions that they know will help us to restore the power as a nation. And then there are also those who have the knowledge in the diaspora that can help us to overcome where we got cut off. But because of how we were treated, we still hang on to this fear that if I say something, there's a lynch mob waiting for me here in the air in the diaspora, or the things that can happen in Embo, where many elders are afraid to speak because they don't want the secrets to be revealed. And I love when our brother Mikhail Massa made a video saying the white man has no more power. And I want to emphasize from an elder, when I spoke to him, who was in many of these secret society connections, he said, they see what's happening, but there is nothing that they can do about it. So what that is emphasizing is the Most High is now telling us, I have you covered. And just to give you a prime example, what I mean by that, many of us are now in this awakening that are speaking out against the system, many of us. And yet we stand in the way of the fire. People can just take us out whenever they want to, but we still stand here. So obviously the Most High's protection has now come back to his people, because his intentions are, I want you out of there. So he's going to do whatever it takes to counter whatever the system is trying to throw at us to make this a reality.
And also, when has the Most High ever lied and not kept his word? So if you really want to say that the Most High is perfect and he's never lied, then why must we fear to put forward the truth? We understand that the elders must put forward wisdom in giving out precious things. Okay, so search out the person spiritually. Is this person sent by the Most High? And is he also meant to receive the wisdom that I have? And also, is he ready for it at this moment? We understand there is times and season for certain things to come out, but we cannot keep it hidden forever.
So one of the things that Most High has now done, and Brother Massa has talked about this, Janata has talked about this, Brother Kefas has talked about this, is the Yaya, because if you say it right now, it says, in the same manner, you who are younger, submit yourself to your elders, which I know growing up, we were always taught to respect our elders, because I know it was less like it was in the South, like in the Caribbean. You still didn't talk, there's no back talk, stuff like that to the elders. You always, like Yanata says, if you correct the elder, you must bring another elder. So the issue that we're running into is like the Most High saying, and I know because he's shown a lot of frustration with what's going on, is that the younger have submitted to the elders, but what have the elders done? And I'm gonna give you an example of what I'm talking about. Many of our elders, because you don't understand that us being kicked out of Africa or Embo, the way we were taken was a marriage to Lucifer that was remained hidden by those who knew the truth. Because we became the scripture where it talks about in Hosea we became Gomer to Hosea. That was the fulfillment of that scripture, was when we went and got kicked out of our land. And even those who may have been dispersed in other places, they also were brought in as well to become the dogs, to become the donkey, to become the lower, we were made to be, the bottom.
A serf, if
Yes.
you want to use that terminology.
And that is the reason why when we were brought into captivity, we were made lower than the horses. We were made lower than the donkey. We were made lower than even the sheep were more valuable than us. Because the mindset was to make us as if we were nothing. Because we went from being the Most High's apple of his eye to being his shame. Like why he said, he'll strip us naked and as the day you were born. And that is what allowed the other people who claim to be the people to now rise to that status of saying, oh yeah, it's always been us, not these people. They're liars. Okay. And so because of that, we now must understand that no matter how high you rise in the system that you currently live in, you will always be a donkey. You will always be a dog. You will always be a subservient level. This is why even if you look at the sports world, you can dress it up. I mean, I used to be a part of it. You can dress it up no matter how much you want. But the people that do all that recruiting stuff and the combines and everything for the professional athletes and all this and that, the bottom line is this: if you don't put money into the system, you're worthless to us. Goodbye. I heard that myself from a person that I knew who was in that arena, where he knew if he didn't perform, the phone was already picked up with get us somebody else.
And what you're trying to say also is the same with the Most High. If you don't want to do his work, he has a replacement as well.
Yes.
So this is why we have to keep moving forward, and the elders need to also now have to speak up more and tell the people the secrets so we can keep moving forward and destroy and go home. If you want to go home, we must also reveal certain things as well.
So just let me give you an example of what I'm talking about here. A very famous singer. Okay, many of you may recognize her. Do you see her left hand? Now, this is a Bantu woman who has claiming to be a woman of God in the churches. Someone who is supposed to be an elder that we look up to. The image that she's portraying is supposed to be what the Most High is supposed to be deemed as holy, and supposed to be something that is supposed to be biblical or Thula-like.
But then it also says what? If your elder is going astray, don't follow them.
So what she's now demonstrating, despite the fact that she has a wonderful voice and she has the ability to move the crowd and get everybody singing and about Jesus and God and all that, is exactly what Kepha said, Peter, up here, where it says, where it talks about receive, it says here, do not pursue dishonest gain, be but eager to serve. Okay? So many of your pastors, especially in Black churches, they know the truth. This is even in Embo and Africa and all those different places. Okay. But they put themselves in this position. All of you clothe yourself with humility toward one another, because Tatanzambi opposes the proud that shows favor, but shows favor to the humble. So what we're witnessing today, and I had this discussion with my own father, okay? Many of our elders, and I have relatives that are all like this, they are very proud that they don't even believe that it's possible that they could be this arrogant or ignorant to actually believe they've been this fooled. And because they come with that attitude, this is why so many of the younger generation now has been led astray, and you're seeing them being in positions where they're either being killed, they're being led to Moloch unawares, they are being used and abused the wrong ways, all because people in the church house that have the knowledge as elders, because you have church elders, okay, they know the real truth behind your identity. They still stand up there on TV, very wealthy, very organized brothers and sisters that know who you are and know who we are, but yet they stand up there because they're all about their namesake. They allow us to get drugged through the mud because they serve their master, as you saw with her hand. Okay. And so, unfortunately, let's go to what it says in Titus 1:5, because this is exactly what is how I am feeling now with the assembly that I grew up in, where they knew the truth. And many others can say the same about the people they look up to. This is what's creating the issue now. Because now those of us who have found out that there have been elders who did not tell us the truth, and we're starting to come into the knowledge of a real truth, we're kind of like children with no elders now. Because we're not looking at mom and dad anymore. We're not looking at grandpa or whatever, because mom and dad and grandpa weren't paying attention. Or if they were paying attention, they didn't open their mouths. So it's like this. It says, the reason I left you in Crete was that you might put in order what was left unfinished and appoint elders in every town as I directed you. Now listen to verse 6. An elder, and I want you to emphasize, this is not an elder of the so-called Jews. This is the Yaoundé, the Yahudi. This is the Bana Betu. This is Yisolele he's talking to. Okay, not what you've been taught. And there are many elders out there that know exactly what we're saying. An elder must be blameless, faithful to his wife, a man whose children believe and are not open to the charge of being wild and disobedient.
So that means if your children are like that, you did not train them up in the ways of righteousness, in a path where they will not falter.
Okay. Now, since an overseer manages the now let me explain something to you. I'm going to show you where, especially in Christianity, you have been led astray by this verse right here. Since an overseer manages Tatanzami's household, what is that? It's not the building. Because I'm going to tell you right now what's getting ready to happen. Many of you are going to be pastors of a pile of rubble that doesn't exist anymore. Many of you are going to be business owners of a pile of rocks and a pile of steel and twisted metal that doesn't exist anymore. Many of you are going to become business owners or principals or teachers of a school building that's going to be charred and destroyed. Okay? Because a lot of our people don't even realize that they were not going to be what he says. An overseer manages Tatanzambi's household. The household of the Most High has always been the 12 tribes. Because no matter what they teach you anywhere, he was never going to forsake his servant Jacob. That's why he didn't even divorce Judah, Yaoundé. He only divorced the 11 tribes, not the 12.
I can't find that scripture anywhere, where it says he divorced Jacob. You can never find it.
No. But see, you have Christians out there telling you, oh no, we become adopted servants of the Creator. We are his children now because all of Israel has rejected him. Wait a minute, he never left Judah. Never left them. That's why the people who are pretending to be cannot be Judah. The Most High knows who Yaoundé or who Judah is. They still speak his language.
Yep. Well, now, there's a story in the Bible, right? When the master left, right? He had 3 servants and he gave them something. The Most High also gave you guys this information, not to say I'm going to keep it in my pocket, but to give it to the people that are his people so they can grow and become elders as well, and then do the work as well. It'll be like a domino effect, but no one wants to push that domino over. They want to keep it.
And now this, and the rest of it says, he must be blameless. This right here condemns every elder that ever got us sent into captivity. And then the ones who kept us in a captivity mindset. Because we chose not to obey the Most High that we already knew. Okay? Not overbearing, not quick-tempered, not given to drunkenness. I can tell you right now, there's a lot of elders that have issues with this. Not violent. Okay, I'm pretty sure in Africa and Embo, just what they did to Simon Toko, they don't pass with this one. Not violent. Not pursuing dishonest gain. And I'm going to tell you right now, this condemns every Bantu of Yisolele who joined with Nimrod. Willingly.
Wait a minute, So you're telling me the people doing the Black Lives Matter protests, that is not the way that the Most High wants it done?
That's what he's saying. Because see, they don't understand a lot of these people that run these organizations are setting you up. They really are. Because they already know what happened that caused you to be mad in the first place. It's all a mind game.
Yep.
Many of the things that happen.
Because how does the Most High want us to fight?
Yeah.
On our knees.
Yeah.
Is it we're fighting spiritual battle?
He wants
but how can we fight it, right? How can we fight if we also don't know how to fight it properly in our spiritual sphere, in our understanding of how to fight, right? We've been fighting it with Christianity, but yet we're still in the same boat. But then we come into this Bantu truth, but then, the elders are not going to tell us any secrets on how to fight spiritually. Go back to your Christianity.
All right.
We can't win. It's okay.
How are you going to fight spiritually, still attached to demons like the harlot and to a false Messiah? How are you going to do it? Because a lot of people don't understand. I was watching a post in our community page that even talked about this. Many of our elders still think Jesus is white and God is white.
Oh, goodness.
And I'm going to tell you something that comes from an elder of the white community that I spoke with yesterday. It doesn't matter what other preachers may think or what they know. These people had to be in their 70s. And both of them said, and they were white as can be, the Messiah and the Creator are not white. Massa himself gave you an understanding of what the Most High resembles. But for sure, Isiah, the one that world called Jesus, Yisu was never white.
Even Simba Malunga has done plenty of videos. Yanit has done plenty of videos. There's so much proof out there, but everyone wants to cling on to this white savior complex. I mean, even I talked to some older guy where I work, right? And he knew that the first 4 presidents were Black and they were Moors. And we're going to close the brackets on that because, this is not the topic. But most of the people I know that are white or who are Gentiles, they actually know that, the Savior's Black and all this. But they're going to choose to follow who they want to choose to follow, which is their white Savior. But if you're a Bantu, then we have to follow the truth and we have to also spread the truth. Because if you don't spread the truth, what happens if you want to keep the truth within yourself? You're going to get punished.
And just to give a prime example, okay, for our elders especially, and even ourselves, this is one of the reasons why I had no problem going against the people who have been teaching lies all this time, was I read the book of Jasher. And I saw what Nimrod did to our grandfather Abraham. And when I saw what the Most High did for him, I know I had no more fear of that wicked king and his deceptions. Because if a Bena Kongo can come into the fire that Bana was thrown into and stop him from being burned from Nimrod himself when he was alive, when he was facing him. If the Most High can do that, what in the world are we afraid of when it comes to the spiritual aspect of Nimrod's deception now? See, the reason why he has been so successful playing this ball role is because our elders don't pay attention throughout history. I'm not talking about not right now. I'm talking about throughout history. That's why when the Most High came to me with this awakening, the first thing he said to me was, we never stop worshiping Baal. And he said, just to show you how ignorant you are, his name is everywhere in the English language, and you don't even see it. Why? Because either you choose not to, or the people who know better won't tell you.
Here, Yanita did a very beautiful video. It was called Messianic Consciousness. Okay? People should watch it. He was explaining to people that once you figure out who you are, you shouldn't be afraid at all. And you shouldn't be afraid when people curse you. Because if you really are up in the heavens at the right hand with the Most High and Yesiah, who can curse you way up there. Okay, you should watch it for yourself.
Now, I want to hear Paula. He was actually a Muntu when he talks about this next part. Rather, and this is why I'm talking about elders again, because I fit in this category because I'm getting up there. I must do the same thing. I know we're not all perfect, but this is what he's saying. Rather, he must be hospitable, one who loves what is good. Right now, the most sickening thing I see is many of our Black elders, our Bantu Black people, and I can tell you right now, I'm related to some of them that are saying we must accept some of the debauchery that is satanic, like the homosexual agenda. The people don't even realize that the abortion agenda was for Black people. It had nothing to do with the white people. The gay agenda was for Black people. They don't care what happens to the white people. Okay? Everything that they have engineered in this society was to destroy the Black race.
Yeah, because back in those times, our people, in the Bantu spirituality, they didn't know these things. They didn't practice these things. These are the things that the Gentiles were already doing, So there's a reason why they kept on trying to engineer it and throwing it into our faces to do it, because they knew as long as we keep sinning, the Most High must keep doing what to us? Correcting us with his spiritual belt.
And that means including also trying to remove the melanin. I mean, my brother here, myself, we're not the original true colors of our ancestry that it should be. But the problem is because our those who lead us, and it can't be, because remember, we had kings that were still young too. We forget that being an elder isn't just about what you look like on the outside, but how you lead on the inside.
Let's read that story about King David.
Let's see.
We should have it somewhere here.
Let's see. All right, you're talking about this one?
Jeremiah, right?
Lamelia. Okay, now this is the prophet, right?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll start from Lamelia, verse 5. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. Then I said, Tatazambi, behold, I cannot speak, for I am a child. But the Most High said unto him, say not, I am a child, for thou shalt go to all that I shall send thee, and whosoever I command thee, thou shalt speak. Be not afraid of their faces, for I am with thee to deliver thee, says the Most High.
So that's what it's also saying. If the Most High is with you, you have a word. It doesn't matter how old the person is in front of you, because now you're the Most High. You're older than the person you're speaking to. So who has the true authority and who's the real elder as well?
Right. And this is why, the true reason why Isiah was the greatest threat to his people was among those who were the Pharisees, Sadducees, and the scribes, the elders. When he came in front of them and they said, who is this boy? Who is this? How can he know these things? because the understanding was, and this is what we need to realize as a people, as Masi is going to give us the true story about it, but the point is the Most High made him who he was to show us what we were lacking as a people.
And also what it means to be a true elder.
Exactly. That far too many of us were living in the flesh and not the spirit, which is exactly what happened 500 plus years ago. We were living in the flesh when we wanted to be like the Kadi and Pemba, like the Mundele, like all the others. The heathen nations, see, here's how we got deceived, people. When they came to us, they were the heathens, but they made it look like we were the heathens with all their trickery and whatever they did. But when they took us into captivity, they acted like they did heathenistic things, very wicked things.
Mhm.
So who really was more the heathen? You see, many of our people today, we accept the traditions because we feel that this is what we've been taught is accurate. Even those who claim to be from the bloodline, as they want to say, if they want to, that's fine, whatever, okay? But they don't even understand the very rabbis of the Khazars or the Khazarian connections or Ashkenazi side, people don't even know most of the things that they follow in Judaism is made up. They actually took the Judaism that was created by the Bantus and flipped it into their version. Even Farrakhan himself said that the so-called Talmud comes from Nimrod.
We should have the story of King David here, right?
Well, it's just only copied this part where it says he was anointed.
Hmm.
So where it says here, 1 Samuel, Isamueli, remember King Dawidi was sent by the Most High to replace. Now, let me just give you an example how the Most High can get upset with an elder. He came to replace King Saul. Now, remember, King Saul had children. He was an older man. But he fell so far out of favor with the Most High that he quit speaking to him. He had to go to a what?
An outside source of
An
power.
outside source. He had to go to a bruja, some kind of oracle woman, someone who had abilities to also see, to find out what was going to happen to him.
But in the wrong way.
Right. So this just goes to show you many of our elders, even after this, in this time frame, they did a lot of the same thing. When the Most High start talking to them, they look for other sources. And this is what caused the problems that we're facing today. Even now, we accept the fact that we got our own children running to these charlatans, witches, whatever you want to call them, spirits. You don't even realize that in the religions that you're in, it's spiritism. It's not spiritual.
Here, 1 Samuel 16, verse 1.
Okay.
And the Most High said unto Samuel, how long wilt thou mourn for Saul, seeing I have rejected him from reigning over Yisolele? Fill thine horn with oil and go. I will send thee to Jess the Bethlehemite, for I have provided me a king among his sons. The Most High is sending his prophet to anoint someone to become a king. And Samuel said, how can I go? If Saul hear it, he will kill me. And the Most High said, take an heifer with thee, and say, I am come to sacrifice to the Most High. And call Jess to the sacrifice, and I will shew thee what thou shalt do, and thou shalt anoint unto me him whom I name unto thee. And Samuel did that which the Most High spake, and came to the land, and the elders of the town trembled at his coming, and said, wait, the elders were trembling at him. Why?
Because he's the one, he was now anointed. He was now favored by the Most High.
So just because you're an elder doesn't mean you have supreme rulership over everyone that's beneath you. And he sanctified Jess and his sons and called them to the sacrifice. And it came to pass when they were come that he looked on Eliab and said, surely the Most High anointed is before him. But the Most High said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Most High saith not as man sees. The Most High is not looking at your stature, at your height, and how strong you are. Okay? For men looketh on the outward appearance, but the Most High looketh on the heart. Okay? Then Jess called Abinadab and made him pass before Samuel, and he said, neither hath the Most High chosen this. And Jess made Samuel to pass by, and he said, neither has the Most High chosen this. Again, Jess made 7 of his sons to pass before Samuel, and Samuel said unto Jess, the Most High has not chosen these. So in the end of the story, the Most High chose the little shepherd boy tending the flock, not all of his sons that were mighty, strong, and had positions in what? In the world.
All right. Hallelujah.
Ingeta.
Sorry. So basically, what we are trying to say here is for far too long. And this is why I liked what Simon Toko said to his people that followed him. That this awakening is not meant to be a place where we have, and even I had to get my father's understanding, too many people think you have time. So they're trying not to teach enough to where you can actually, whatever they're holding back or whatever they're not wanting to hold, they think it's because, they think that they have time. Or they fear, the bottom line is they don't understand that the flip is going to happen faster than you understand. That the Most High is not waiting for elders or even people with secrets to decide when they're going to give it. Because he will, I mean, just to give you an example, that's why the Most High said, you forget who he is, okay? He can take anyone here, even in the diaspora, and turn them into a Agikuyu seer, if he so chooses, to get people to know what to do to get out of here. If he wanted himself to, because the point is, the Most High can choose to do whatever he wants.
Mm-hmm.
And sadly, we have a lot of elders, especially those who are in the religious side, that have forgotten that, hey, this creator that you're believing in, he's not waiting on you.
Yeah, in what, not even half a night, he downloaded 70 languages to who?
Oh, I forget.
70 languages
I forget
in
now.
half a night.
I
right?
forget now. Who was it? I apologize.
It's the one that had his 3 sons that sold him into slavery.
Oh, Yakuba.
You know?
Yakuba.
So he became a king, even though he went into slavery.
Yosef,
and he became a peasant, and then he became a king.
Yosefu,
So,
yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yosefu.
It's all right. So it's funny how people think that the Most High is not going to do something or he can't. People keep having that carnal mindset view, as in, oh, the Most High revealed me all these secrets on how to call him, how to do this and this, and you know, and all that. But then, oh, but I'm an elder, and I don't want to feel like teaching the younger generation. Most High will use someone else then. It's not about you and what you want; it's what the Most High wants. Because some people don't want to be rejected, right?
Right. Because I mean, just to give an example, these people sitting right here, okay? To the Most High, as much as you want to put yourself out there like you're doing something so important, you have been deceived by the fact that it's about building his kingdom, not the kingdom that you serve right now, which many people don't realize.
It's also not to build your pockets.
Right. There are those that know we are in a false kingdom. They know it. They say it. They put it out there in your face, but then they try to hide it. Well, they're not hiding it anymore because they're realizing we're not stupid anymore.
And also, the Most High can see these people as spiritual babies. Right. I don't care how old you are, you're still a spiritual baby if you're still preaching this Christian garbage.
And let's go. So we're going to go to where this is why it was so important. Let's go back to. Okay, so this.
I think it was further up. Yeah. I think it was Peter.
No, I want to talk about Anoka.
Okay. Oh, Enoch.
Or Enoch. Well, that's how you say it. Enoch.
I was just saying it in case someone didn't know.
Enoch, right. And after this, I saw another dream and explained it all to my son. Enoch rose and said to his son Methuselah, "To you, my son, I will speak. Hear my word and incline your ear to the visionary dream of your father. Before I married your mother, Edna, I saw a vision in my bed." And of course, this is the vision that he had of the animals, how they represented the various nations, the rise and falls and the pitfalls of the world, the things that would come to be. Okay. Now, let me explain something to you.
No, and it's wait, because even Jonathan has told us, right? Who really wrote the book, right?
Right.
Are you sure that his son didn't write the book? In Enoch?
Right.
Because when he was going through having all these dreams and visions from the Most High, he told his son, because he also knew, oh, the Most High is going to take me. So I must now depart my wisdom and knowledge upon my son and not keep it to myself. Go ahead, yeah.
And so let me make it very clear. For those of you who are worried about, certain things about the enemy or whatever he's doing, remember who the grandson of Enoch and Methuselah named Noah, was talking to save them. It was not the descendants of Seth, because we now know in the book of Jasher, those who were righteous in that lineage were allowed to die before the flood came. It was the descendants of Cain, that he was going to, saying, hey, the Most High is going to flood you out unless you return to him. That's who he was talking to. Those who were the most rebellious to the Most High. To say, you need to get away from these demonic beings who are lying to you. So the Most High was giving the opportunity to those who were even the most wicked a chance to repent.
Because the Most High doesn't want to bring judgment. He wants everyone to repent and everyone to live good.
Now, we have now become aware of the fact that they have rejected this offer, which is why we're in the countdown to whatever he's going to do. Okay. Because we are now officially in the days of Noah's ending. But the reality is there is a remnant that needs to be told.
And there's also not one more go around. It stops here at 12 o'clock and then we're done. We're not doing another cycle.
Yeah. And this time is not animals he's putting in there. It's people that have to know who we are and what to do.
Mm-hmm.
The spirit of Nuku, Noah, is now speaking to the remnant of Yisolele. And the only way we know that information comes from those who understand what that means. The Bantu,
now we also
the Congo,
read
the Lingala, you know.
Yeah. Now we read in the book of Adam and Eve, right?
Go ahead.
You have it there, you know. It's when his son. I think it's further down, maybe.
Right here.
This one here. Yeah, there we go. So. No, this is about Methuselah.
This is about when they saw Nuku, Noah. When he went to run to his father.
Yeah, no, we're talking about the book of Adam and Eve, where Adam and Eve were teaching their son Abel. You know?
I think it's this one here. Is that it?
That's Acts.
No, and the children became.
Yeah. So, and the children became to wax stronger and to grow in stature. But Cain was hard-headed. It sounds like some of us sometimes, right? Or even our elders. You know, we all have to get out of the mindset of what we feel like putting forward as, what the Most High has revealed to us. Because if the Most High wants certain things revealed, because even Yanata used wisdom, right? When he was talking about the first eye, he first set down a foundation, and then when time was right, he still revealed it. You know, some people may have thought, wondering why Jonathan did it. But when the Most High tells us to speak, we must speak. Even the elders have to understand that there's a time for everything. So we can't go on our time. We have to go by the Most High's time, And then ruled over his younger brother. And oftentimes when his father made an offering, he would remain behind and not go with them to offer up. But as to Abel, he had a meek heart and was obedient to his father and mother, whom he often moved to make an offering because he loved it and prayed and fasted much. So his son Abel, okay, so if Adam and Eve kept quiet and not teaching him the ways of the Most High, would that be the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do? It would be the wrong thing to do.
It would be the wrong thing to do.
Yeah, because in the eyes of Abel, his parents are his elders. He's supposed to look up to them for guidance. So right now, what me and Trey are asking for our elders is for guidance going back into the ways of the Bantu spirituality so we can finally go back into the proper practices that we have lost. And we cannot do that if the elders want to always remain silent, because now it's not the time for silence. It's the time to finally throw down the kingdom of darkness, and the Most High must use who? The people who are on earth as vessels.
Just to give you an idea, people don't even know, okay? The system right now, as it stands, even though there's some, deception to it, but the other nations are starting to catch on that the people who now control the system are lying to them.
Well, it does say in scripture that the other nations will accept the truth before the Most High's people.
Exactly. And that's where you need to understand this is what's triggering the flip now. Because the other nations are starting to recognize their own lies. They're not taking it anymore. They're not accepting what they always, to give a prime example, my neighbors, my neighbors are in their 80s. And even they themselves said to me, we're starting to get that feeling that what we've been learning all our lives was a lie. And then their 80s. So
people also have to stop complaining. I don't mean to cut you off, yeah. But I have this older guy, and it's just like, dude, stop complaining about your age. Most High doesn't care how old you are. The Most High doesn't care. He doesn't see that age. Stop. The problem also is we like to complain too much. I'm too old. I'm too this and too that. In the eyes of the Most High, he doesn't see those problems. He sees I can still do it no matter what. Including when what was it, Sarah? She was how old and she had a kid?
She was in her 90s, and that's why in soccer.
But if you tell someone that right now, what are they going to tell you? Oh, it's impossible. A person in 90 cannot have a child because they're too carnal.
Right. That's one of the reasons why his name was what they call Isaac, but it was Nsaka, because like Pastor Mello, a wise elder that we really do respect, said, she laughed. And the angel said, why do you laugh? Or why do you think I joke on Nsaka? So she gave him that name because she thought it was a joke, because he was a joke to her. But he became the reality of what she thought was impossible. And that's why we keep saying is, here's a woman that was wise in her age and years, who was still what? Doubting the ability of the Most High and what he's capable of doing. That even a woman of old age can still bear a child. Because he is the one that is capable of all things. And see what has happened to us as a nation, as a people, which is one of the reasons why I wrote the book that I wrote in the first book. We have forgotten who he is.
It's interesting. I know that you saw the Agaku Isiah, right? With Yanita, right?
Right.
And what did he say? That if they try to attack, he's ready, right?
Right.
So, guys, the Most High has our backs. Stop thinking it's not time to speak. It's not time to do something. How much longer are we going to keep saying, "Oh, I'll do it tomorrow"? Tomorrow might be your last day, and the Most High just needs you to speak.
Because we understand there are those who say, "Oh no, we're not going to say all this stuff on YouTube." We get it. However, there are many of us. We have this platform right here, Zoom. We have WhatsApp. We have all kind of other platforms to where the interaction is just between a few people or just others who won't always hear. Yes, I get it. The CIA listens to everything, whatever. The Most High has already said they can't stop it anyway. But the reality is, you know, this is the time where the Most High has already decreed it. Esau will be a stubble. If you think I'm joking, look what just happened to these three what do you call them, explosions with these so-called pipelines.
Oh yeah.
Okay, of course the deceivers are going to sell you, oh, it was a volcano. Man, come on. Okay, because they don't want us to know what time it is. They're going to keep playing this narrative, and we have elders out there just letting them do it.
It also says what? That you will be destroyed for what you don't know.
Definitely.
So let's stop playing games and start actually moving the board forward. You know, we're all on a chessboard. You know, I enjoy chess, you know, and the problem with our pieces is our pieces are infinite. We can keep coming back. We can always be resurrected, but no one wants to be the guy that wants to raise up, send me. I don't mind dying. It's better for us to die in the workmanship of the Most High, right? It's better for us to lose our life than to gain it. But too many people want to cling on to the little bit of time they have. But then are you also going to have that eternal crown on your head?
Right. And of course, it says here, 1 Timothy 4:14, Timothy, do not neglect your gift that was given through prophecy when the body of elders laid their hands on you. Now, here's the issue right here. I'll tell you right now, many of us, even here in the diaspora, cannot receive this with elders that want to hold back, that know truth but want to hang on to the lie. Because many of the gifts of the Yisolele or the Bantu people, as we understand, comes through the prophecy and the body of elders when they lay hands on you.
Because during the time of Jacob and Esau, right, when their father was going to die, what did his father do? Come, send my children so I can bless them before I go.
Right.
He didn't say, oh, why should I give anything that I know and everything I have to my children? No.
And here's another issue, okay? Because here in the diaspora, we have a lot of elders that claiming to be special, but pretending and hiding this concept that many of them know. The only elders of the, and this, erase this word church, because this is a Catholic deception. Okay. The elders of the assembly of Yisolele, the Most High's chosen people. Okay. Is that you?
No.
Oh, it's weird. The elders, okay, to pray over them and anoint them with the oil in the name of, it is not Lord. This is the problem. You cannot get healed from a pagan God name. This is the biggest issue. There's no Bantu spiritual. If you don't have Bantu spirituality or the spirit of the Most High or the true Mondan Semi, there cannot be true healing. This is why Massa has even questioned those who claim to be doing it. Who are you really healing under? We have elders that know these secrets right here, okay, that are allowing the system to destroy us and keep us in a state. I mean, I'll tell you exactly what I'm talking about. Where do you think all the cancer and all these other sicknesses are coming from? You're letting these doctors and people and all these politicians and all these other people lie to you. Okay? It comes from what goes into your body. And there are elders. That's why do you think Dr. CB was so attacked? But you know what? I honor him because he was one of the elders that said, I don't care. I'm going to keep showing them how to be healthy.
And not only that, he actually did a court case against the United States government and won. Exactly. He said he was right. So, and I even honor him too. You know, man, he didn't care. He kept pushing to literally put the truth out. Yeah, and the sad thing is, after he died, people started using his name and then putting deceptive products in and making people sick just to make money.
Yeah, because that's the way when you don't actually support those that are trying to help you, the snake walks right back in and puts us right and starts taking us backwards again. When there's others that could have been there around him to keep that from happening.
It's interesting, yeah. When you watch a snake in nature, right, it tries to bite around the neck and the head, you know? So that means he's always going to attack the people on top, because once he gets them, then the rest of the body will also get destroyed.
Yeah.
So I mean, when you're in the position of power, we have to be careful also on who we allow also, you know, to influence us. We have to use wisdom, you know?
Yeah. That's how Satan or Baal or whatever you want to call these demon entities, that's how they destroyed the Bantu people with Yisolele. That's how they did it. When it came to the kingdom of Congo, they went right to the king. Because they knew if the king did it, the rest of the people would follow. And now here we sit in captivity, scattered, believing a bunch of lies from people who don't care about you. But you still want to act like they do.
It's interesting because if you want to go back to your kingdom, right, you must open your mouth and tell the people who they are and what they lost and how to get back to it. You cannot just keep your mouth shut, you know? It's interesting because even when you watch the other nations, right, you have elders. I even see it in some Chinese YouTube stuff, right? It's this older grandpa. He's very good at doing woodworking, right? His grandson is learning from him.
I'll give you a prime example. I encountered a couple of, you know, one of them I didn't see. She was walking by. Another person came by my desk and area. Of course, they were Black people. I kind of started a few conversations with them. It's amazing the way we see our people walking around. And I can tell you right now, this woman up here, she probably thought she was golden, like she was the best thing ever. Because she was dressed all to the T. She had nice outfits. She was walking around like I'm somebody. Okay. You got other people do the same thing all the time. Nice suit, always trying to look sharp, whatever, thinking that they are somebody. And in reality, okay, the Most High is looking at these people like you are some of the most uneducated, unknowledgeable people on this earth. Because if you really knew anything, if you really, really, really knew anything about who you are, you wouldn't have to act like you're somebody special. You would already be somebody special. That's the problem. You don't have to strut around proving nothing to anybody. You would already be in the position where they would honor you.
Mhm.
You don't have to work for it the way that we have to do it now. The Most High would grant it to you. This is how stupid we are. I mean, I hate to say it, okay? Myself included.
Yep.
This is how ignorant we are. We sitting out here every day grinding a 9 to 5. Donkeys. I'm gonna say it because they put it in the movie. That's why they mocked it in the Planet of the Apes. Donkeys. In a system that don't care about you, always got you sick, always got you exhausted, working hard, overtime, hours after hours, this and that, giving you these little perks. Oh, great job, Brenda. Great job, so-and-so. Oh, we did so well. This is great, okay? But in the end, who did you really benefit? Who's really getting all of the recognition for what you're doing?
Mhm. There's two kingdoms to build, and people want to choose the left kingdom and not the Most High's kingdom.
Because see, here's now the reality check. The kingdom of carnality is going goodbye. So if you want to continue to focus on the things of this world that don't matter, that's been vanity, like King Solomon said, everything's vanity. If you're going to be these elders that are going to hang on to a system that right now is crumbling in front of everybody's faces, where they have to keep making excuses so that you don't see it, okay? Then I'm sorry, you go with it. That's the way it's got to be. That's why the Most High said, come out of her, my people, that you share not in her iniquities and her sins. If you're going to sit there and listen to those other Black people who call themselves elders to keep going along with the system that never cared about them since they got off the slave ship, you keep doing it. Because the reality is you're going down with the ship now. All those slave ships you were on, the whole system now is going crashing.
Yeah. Now, the thing that people hopefully will understand with all this, right, is when we have a kingdom, right, it's not just one person who is the king, because it takes more people to build a kingdom than just one person. Okay, so we have kings in, right, we have kings in our grouping, in the Bantu prayer group, but they'll be asking us for help and guidance as well. It's not like that you're elder and you have no position. You're not going to have a position if you follow the carnality path and don't want to help the Most High. If you help the Most High, you can become a king. To build a kingdom, we need more than one person, okay? And everyone will be honored for building it. It's not like only one person gets to have a crown. Okay, this is not stop thinking of the carnal world where there can only be one king.
I mean, take, for example, the image that I have behind me. There's a particular reason why I like this image, okay? Because take a good look at it, because the most, how should I say this? The most shocking thing that many Black people who stay in the harlot are gonna realize is when they're looking at themselves in the mirror, coming after them, not coming to save them. when you had the opportunity to flip sides because you wanted to continue to believe in something that was never true, but was made up by those, like Master said, that's the nature of the Gentiles. They are who they are. They're doing what they're supposed to do, serving their gods in their image. We're the ones that rejected our version. That's why it's all being mocked.
Mm-hmm.
In Hollywood, King Kong, apes, all of this stuff. We rejected ours and went with theirs. So it's not going to be, it's going to be the most surprising thing for you when you see, especially those people who are in the military, that the army you get ready to face, those black people are going to be looking at, hey, those are black people fighting us.
Let's read James 5:14. It says, "Is anyone among you sick? Let them call the elders of the assembly to pray over them and to anoint them with oil in the name of Tatanzambi." Now, Mikhail Massa is doing this in the assembly of Isiah Congo that the Most High has given it into his hands. So Most High sees our Nabi Yahya Mikhail Massa as an elder. Because why? He has the spiritual wisdom and understanding of the ancient ways, not because he's in his 60s, not because he's still a young man. He's in his 30s. You know?
I don't know what that is. So
Huh?
that's so noise.
Huh.
You know, like
So, yeah.
you know, one of the things that got my attention, and I know that there are those who want to do like prophetic schools and those who want to do certain things. And, you know, we love our brothers and sisters in Embo and Africa that are in this awakening. We love our people here in the diaspora in this awakening. You know, we got to stop listening to the voices that want to say, we're going to do your side, our side kind of stuff. We got to start listening to the voices that we got to start becoming the voice that say, hey, look, you know, our people need let me explain something to you. Our people need the knowledge that the Most High is referring to of Hosea 4:6. Because there are those who have the knowledge that he's talking about, where he says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Well, we need the knowledge now so we can stop being destroyed. So Yisolele can become one again. We need the knowledge so that we can become a nation again to return as a remnant of our people. Okay, now I'm gonna tell you the honest truth. I can see him now. This is just my perspective. I'm not saying that it can happen. I'm just saying, as the Most High starts to move forward, if he continues to see people still holding back, he'll do it himself. He's done it before. Just go to the scriptures.
Actually, it's funny, right? You'll have some people complaining, why is that person so anointed and knows so much? But then when the Most High looks at you going, you don't want to speak. I have to give it to someone.
Right. Because I mean, that's the point. Let me tell you, I mean, as much knowledge and as much wisdom we see what these people are sitting in Embo, okay? Don't think the Most High can't say, okay, I'm going over here to this guy because he has a real zeal to see Yisolele one stick. He wants to see us one nation again.
Mm-hmm.
more so than the many of the elders with gifts. Don't think he won't send a Maliki, touch him, it's on. Let's go. That's where we need to realize is that, hey, we're not in that mode anymore where you have, like he said, you think we have time. The enemy has made you believe you got time. When right now, I saw it. They already getting ready to start the Civil War here in America.
Because the enemy is like a roaring lion looking who he can devour. He doesn't give you a day of rest.
Nope.
Okay. The Most High wants what? Bantu unification. The kingdoms to come together, the 12 tribes to stop bickering and fighting, elders in different organizations thinking that they're the way, this is the way, why should I unite with? You know, we have to stop thinking about what we want and more about what the Most High wants. Because he has his perfect will for the nation and for all of us. We don't see it because are we all sitting on top and looking through his eyes, not our own?
Just to give you a prime example, I met a brother who's a Tokoist a few years back. I mean, it's been a few years now already, I think. About a year or so. When I sought the information about the Tokoist, one of the things he told me, he said, you didn't find me. The Most High told me to go to you. Okay. Now this is a young man. He speaks, you know, Portuguese. He has a connection to the knowledge of the Tokoist. He has a great understanding of Embo and the way it operates. But yet the Most High said to him, you need to go talk to that brother who's in Pueblo, Colorado. I have never stepped foot on the continent. I have never been there. The Most High has given me some, you know, some wisdom and knowledge of the things that I'm doing, what I'm doing today. But yet the Most High said, seek him out. Talk to this brother here. I'm not, you know, I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm not trying to puff myself up with knowledge or anything at all. But it was just kind of funny how we connected, because not only did I wanted to understand what was going on over there. I wanted someone to help me that I didn't know. And yet at the same time, I was teaching him things he didn't even know himself through the Most High.
So that means he humbled himself in front of you, and then you humbled yourself in front of him.
Correct.
Not, oh, I'm older, so you just wait there. No.
You know, and that's why I say, you know, do I understand that there's certain traditions and things that I don't comprehend? I'm sure there are. And if I don't follow protocol all the time, you know, I do apologize. But see, how can I follow certain protocols or certain things the way we got to do it if I don't even know?
Mm-hmm. And then what does it say? To forgive your brother. How many times?
7
How many times?
7. You know, and that's why I keep trying to tell people is like, you know, that's why I love Brother Kobe. Even if I missed calling him a few days and we do the Kikongo lessons, he always has an upbeat personality and he's always happy to do it. And he's a lot younger than me. He's in his 20s.
No, he's only 19.
Oh, he's 19. I'm sorry. He's younger, way younger than me. Okay.
He is a young cat.
You know. So it's not like, and I know that there are those who make mistakes, and I know young people can still be. We have it. I mean, there's that tendency to be, a little bit overbearing sometimes, but it's because the younger generation is tired. I'm gonna tell you like this: we are tired of fighting the principalities that we should no longer have to have an issue with. We are tired of dealing with false teachings and false doctrines and spirits that we should not even be, that we should be able to conquer them and have that understanding of, strength against them so that we can lift our nation up.
Mhm. If we read in Acts 5:2, right?
Right.
I mean, sorry, Acts 15:2.
Uh-huh.
So it says, this brought Paul and Barnabas. I'm sorry, Barnabas into the sharp dispute and debates with them. So Paul and Barnabas were appointed along with some other believers to go up to Yisolele to see the apostles and elders about the question. Even back then, they're having the same issues.
Yeah, the apostles were always having the same issues. That's kind of part of the reason why the 7 assemblies got intercepted. See, because the problem is the more we hang on to Bantu traditions, cultures, all these different things, and we're not saying there's anything wrong with it, okay? But the more you go with protocol, the enemy's not doing any protocol. He's like, while you sitting over here debating, I'll go turn some more Bantus gay. While you sitting over here deciding who should be an elder in this time and who's doing all these different things, I'll go get some more Bantu people shot with guns. While you sitting here debating whose doctrine is better and whose isn't, okay, I'll go get some more, I'll go make me some more drug dealers.
And the name, oh my goodness.
I mean, that's basically what we're talking about here. I mean, that's what the enemy is saying. While you over, and the Most High is looking at this, like, wait a minute. We don't, the every day that we wake up and live is an opportunity to help people wake up and come into this truth. But many of us are hindering that process by continuing to do the same arguments of religions like Christianity and other people.
Yeah. Even Yahya Mikhail said, right, when you guys had the experience against Satan, right, you couldn't beat him by yourself. We need help.
Right.
You can't win a war by yourself. Yes, the Most High can use few people, but he still needs a set amount of people. So if some of the elders are also tired and want to finally go back home to their kingdom, well, you also have to play your role too. Okay, we all have a role to play, and the elders are a lot of the elders have a lot of good missing pieces, teaching us the language, teaching us the customs, teaching us things that start destroying this connection we have with the enemy and bringing down more of Tatan Zambi's, presence and his angels and everything.
Just listening to the way Yanata described in Congo, the way elderly people were being mistreated and the type of thing that was happening to different people in different villages and the destruction that was going along around the place. Okay. As this continues, I mean, as he watches even here in America and Europe and South America, Bantu, especially little children, continuing to suffer hardships, he's looking at the leadership of this awakening like, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? I mean, all these people are suffering right now. You know, I'm not, that's why I don't waste time defending my reputation to anybody. That's why I don't sit here when people want to talk stupidness and noise and whatever they want to say. I don't say anything because I already know that Christianity, just looking at the world today, has already failed. It's a failure because everybody's waiting on Jesus and they're doing their own thing.
Yeah, but what has he done for 400 years? Yeah. What has he done for 400 years for the Bantus?
Yeah. That's the part that gets me. You know, I used to sit there and watch the elders in my church that I grew up in with having the stupidest arguments. Okay. And come to find out nearly all of them were wrong and we're wrong. Arguing about nothing.
Man.
You know, I sat there with my dad. He used to always tell me, well, you're not going to church for them, you're going to church for you. But then I go to church, I'm still hearing the same old stuff. What am I learning? Obviously, I have no power right here. Why is that?
I can see you there doing this. When are we going to read the book? Just wait. We're still debating this after 6 months about when Jesus will come back.
They sat there, my assembly that I was a part of sat there and argued for months where to put a new church.
Oh my goodness.
Did anybody even ask the Most High, where should the church go?
Wait, you're supposed to ask the Most High, not what you want, but what he wants?
And that's when I knew the Masons that were in there were not helping a doggone thing. And the reality is that that's where our elders who recognize what those people are doing need to tell them to get out of here because we're tired of it. If you're gonna continue to play the role of the what they call it, the house Negro, and we hear field Negroes are tired of the master. Hey, we're tired of it.
He's called a coon.
Well, I don't want to get into name calling, but you know,
we'll practice on that too then.
Yeah, my thing is that, you know, you love that so much, you stay with it, but let the rest of us get up out of there. We don't need to be hearing these lies. And the elders that know that they're lying need to step up and tell them so. You stay with the master as a Mason and you want to be all this stuff, be my guest. We're out of here. Because it's all going down and you know it. If you can't see the writing on the wall for the United States of America and Russia and all these other countries, you can't see the writing on the wall, then you're really blind.
And don't worry, the Most High will protect you, elders. The Most High will protect you.
The writing
Most High is not gonna
on the wall. You are getting ready to see another civil war. It is going to happen. And their agenda is to see Bantus killing each other just like the last time. That's what they wanted to see in the last Civil War, Black people killing each other.
The only thing that Satan wants is what? Satan just wants to see death and destruction. That's it. It's just who you want to serve or you want to follow the wrong side.
I mean, case in point, they just had an incident where the so-called Moors or whatever you want to call them, they just held a highway hostage, saying that we don't have to obey the laws of America anymore. Do you, man, do you think the physicality is going to stop that? Those cops showed up and like, oh, we gonna get y'all. Y'all better chill out. Okay. The way we left Kamata the last time was not through any physicality between us and the Egyptians. Or the whatever you want to call them today, the Babylonians or whatever. We left because they saw the power of the Most High demonstrated, and they were like, "Get up out of here."
Yep, the Most High was knocking out all the other gods and with ease.
Man, I'm telling you right now, he's gonna make Nimrod look like a fool for them to even think that they could have kept following him all these years, even after he got his tail whooped all these other times. He don't ever learn, but he gonna learn this time.
A fool will remain a fool, but a wise man shall follow the wise.
You better believe these jokers gonna learn their lesson this time. It's not gonna be pretty. The Most High is gonna put an end to this foolishness that they think they can be like him. It's over. And the way he's looking at it is, hey, look, I don't have time to play with this. I know he tells me the same thing every day. I don't have time for this. You need to get it together. The bottom line is you have a focus. You need to get it together because I'm telling you right now, he has already shown me the separation that's getting ready to happen, even to my own blood. Not flesh, but even family members. I'm adopted. Where it's like, hey, y'all want to keep hanging out here doing all this stuff with them and being a part of this? Okay, be my guest. Everybody think I'm crazy to even consider going to Africa. I'm like, Hollywood already gave you because, oh, that's just a movie. No, man. Let me tell you something. That's their way of telling you you got to die 2/3. Without them telling
Hollywood already gave you the 411 and you're like, nah.
I mean, in the movie, knowing alone, I was sitting there like, I know what this is. Even though he had to mock it in the end with the way they did it, it was kind of stupid. I got the idea, but it was all messed up. But the point is, the man said, there's nowhere to run. Nothing will be saved except the people who hide behind Ark Mwanda. That's the only way. The remnant that hide behind Ark Mwanda, that is it. Just like when the flood hit. The only people that can be saved are the Most High's chosen when that fire comes. And I'm telling you, young, old, pretty, ugly, whatever you want to call it, there's not going to be any distinction when that fire comes. It's going to burn everything.
Wait a minute. So if I had millions of dollars, I can't make it?
Boy, I'm telling you what, you and your millions going to be nice and crispy.
All that money shall do what? It shall increase the flames.
Yeah, because the Most High said, it even says in Isaiah, you put your trust in your personal gains, it won't save you.
Yep, and it says in Psalms also.
Man, the dude, I talked the same guy that told me about his grandfather. He told me about something that they already have underneath us. That I'm like, okay, they have the dignitaries themselves have everything already set up so they could run and hide. And the Most High is like, run and hide from what? What you gonna run and hide from?
And yet some of our people are voting for them. Oh, no, they won't.
Y'all don't even know Most of these people are already hiding because they already know they already know that they have put you out for the slaughter. They already hiding. You have no idea. Anyway, all right. So in the message that we're saying, and we have to close because I gotta end this. But we're not, like I said, we love our elders, we love our family, we love all of those who are really in this truth, working hard to become one nation again, to be, to help people come to this truth of the way things should be, to bring ourselves back to the Most High. So, because it says in the scripture, He will teach us the way we should go. How does He do that? Master says all the time, through what? People. How can He teach us if the people won't teach? Well, like He said, if you're not going to do it, He'll do it Himself. Because He is going to renew us, and He is going to teach us and bring us back to His ways.
Yep. The Most High will grab a young child and then teach all the elders with that child.
Yeah,
if need be.
Like I said, it does. I mean, y'all want it. Like I said, we want to respect everything that there is to be respected, which is wonderful. We respect it. We love it all. But over here, I'm telling y'all, you guys are sitting over there. You guys are sitting in Embo right now, seeing what's going on. Come sit here and see what's going on. They've already, let me tell you something. You think that they bringing those troops back from Afghanistan just because the war? Man, these people they do stuff for a reason. They won't tell you why, but they already know what's going on.
Yeah, but the thing also is even Africa has to be judged.
Yeah, I mean, right now, the United States has now reached the critical portions of Jeremiah 51, Revelation 17, and Revelation 18.
Mm-hmm.
We are now at critical mode. If you can't see that, I can't help you. I mean, when you're talking about now, Canada is on fire, Mexico is on fire, California is on fire. You got a hurricane, we had already one tropical storm, a hurricane's coming again. You got tornadoes, floods, all kind of stuff. You had, let me tell you something, the 2 days before the 4th of July, DC had 2 F1 tornadoes on the ground. You think the Most High is not playing? DC had 2 F1 tornadoes on the ground. We are in the end. People right now don't even, I mean, I see it, days of Noah is so evident where I live today. People just going about their business, this, that, complaining about how hot it is, why the trees are dying, all this and that. Don't even understand why. It's not a coincidence, people. The bad thing, we just had floods that hit my state, shut down DIA, the airport, canceled 100-something flights, 400-something flights delayed. Who do you think did that? Ironically, that was the day I was supposed to come back. Had I gone on a trip in June to Angola, I would have been caught up in a mess. You have no idea what they were talking about. I'm telling you. And then, of course, the CDC, what Biden just said, okay, he's basically telling you, America, you will do what we say or else.
That sounds like a certain scripture, right? Are you going to accept this or go into the fire?
You know, I'm just telling people, man, it's like, look, they're not this, they see what's going on. Okay, the devil, he sees exactly where we're doing with this awakening. Okay, and his role, as our brother Keith said it, and he's one of our elders. He said, it's not that the devil think he's gonna win. It's about how many people he get on his side to go with him. And stop and think about this. The Most High said this even in scripture. If you don't help your brother, his blood can also be on your hands. If you choose to remain silent and not help those who, the Messiah said it himself too. If you choose to be the one that's not helping your brothers and sisters, then guess who the Most High is going to be held accountable for that? He's not going to hold the Gentiles accountable for that because they're being Gentiles. The first people, let me explain to you who the tares are. And our sister saw this in her vision. It's those who were Bantus who chose not to live like the Most High taught us to do. It's going to be Bantus first, and along with the other people. It's not just going to be the white people. Because let me go back. Let me do it real quick. I'm gonna do it right now. We did math. We ended on it the last time. I'm gonna take you. Let's go to Matthew 24. I've said this several times. He better find you doing this.
The Most High is calling his people back to the banquet, but they rather enjoy the banquet of Satan. Sadly.
Let's go to it real quick. Hold on. Come on. All right.
Even Mika said it himself. There's gonna be more white people saved than black people, more Bantu people, because they enjoy the carnality and the ways of the Gentile more than the ways of the Most High. It's very sad.
So I'm gonna go to Matthew 45, and this is really to Bantu people right here, the Bena Kongo, to the elders, everybody. Who then is the faithful and wise servant whom the master, okay, Isiah Congo, Tatanzambi is coming. This is what we keep telling you. Whom the master has put, let me tell you something. Yisolele was the people, the 12 tribes. We were the one that were put in charge. Those of us who are in the truth, we're put in charge. Okay? Whom the master put in charge of his household to give others their food at the proper time. Again, this is why we're giving knowledge and this is why we're growing. We're giving out the Most High's food. We're feeding Yisolele. Blessed Bilaka is the servant whose master finds him doing so. So let me tell you something. If you want to be one of these people that want to keep holding back secrets, when you had the opportunity to give the food at the proper time, okay? This is what's about to happen. Truly, I tell you, he will be put in charge of all his possessions. But suppose the servant is wicked and says in his heart, my master will be away a long time, and he begins to beat his fellow servants and to eat with drink with drunkards. The master of that servant will come on a day he does not expect. So what he's trying to tell you is, if he doesn't come and find you doing the things that will build Yisolele into one nation, that will bring us back to the Most High, he's going to have a problem with you. That's from old to young to children, everybody. If you're going to be sitting here in his kingdom, still listening to Satan's lies, Satan's teachings, attached to the harlot, knowing that you should be doing this when you're doing that. And I'm pointing at myself too, because we're not all, I'm not pointing at them, I'm pointing at everybody. Okay? We all have a job to do. This is why Masa said we all need righteous anger, not carnal anger, righteous anger. Because only righteous anger will move the angels to do the things that we need them to do, to cause more changes to be where this world needs to be. I'm gonna tell you right now, white Jesus won't save you. Joe Biden won't save you. The Pope won't save you. Your pastor won't save you. Okay? Your boss won't save you. Nobody's going to save you.
But one person, the one source of power. And who is that?
The only source of power that's going to save anybody is Tatanzambi Mpungu Tulendo. And he's only saving those people that are obedient to what he asked them to do. Not those
you truly love me.
Not those that they think they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Those who say that they are blessed with gifts and listen to angels and all that. But what the Most High is saying, okay? We got Malaikis over here talking to us. They saying it. This place is going down. And what they believe in here is going with them. So it is time to get yourself in check. Even my brother said the Most High took him to Isaiah 26:20. He said, the Most High said, you better believe it. He is coming through. Your neighbors, your friends gonna all of a sudden look up one day, what in the world's going on? They are convinced people that the world just gonna keep going the way it's going, that things just gonna keep happening the way it's happening. When the people up at the top of the pyramid of this world are saying, hey, he's coming. Woo, he's coming. The watches are starting to shake. I'm telling you, people, the watches are already starting to shake. They already know what time it is. But they're going to
how we have to feed the sheep, guys, is with love. Okay? We have to feed the people, feed those who want to be in the truth. Even Gentiles. We cannot hate the Gentiles, guys. Right. We have to do it with love.
But we also must feed the sheep with knowledge. Because my people are destroyed for lack of it. Love, faith gets you only so far. But like Kephas and Masa said in it, and Yonatan said it too, lack of knowledge will get you killed. And that's the reality of it. Because right now, what's this whole world, a lot of people, the 2/3 or what, however most times that's not going to happen, they about to get killed because lack of knowledge, because they believing in the stuff that they think is true. Their knowledge that they have is about to get them killed. They trusting in something that is not real. And they're going to be shocked to find out who they really serve. Woo, boy, that's going to be that's going to be the big one. Who they really serve is going to be the big one. All right, brother. So I want to say Zola Quingi, Dumalang, Lavuva Mo, Zola Quingi, like I said, we here together, we have one mission, and that's to get people out of this diaspora home, to get the people in Embo together, to be the nation we're supposed to be, to watch the spirits that have destroyed us and messed us up go away. But that's only going to happen if the elders, the youth, the children are learning things that will put us in that position. I know Brother Yanta talked about the B-Locker children. Hey, just as much as they got B-Locker children over there, we need B-Locker children over here too. Because these pastors, these teachers, all these people that's over here teaching a bunch of lies, we need to humble them big time.
The Most High will humble them.
Yeah, the Most High will humble them. We need to show them how much, like I said, we need to demonstrate through the Most High who really are the gods. Like the Most High said, if we are Isiah, then we need to be Isiah to these wannabe gods. If we are Isiah, then we need to show them Isiah. And that's what that's what we have to understand. We need to be, if we are Sonini Nanini, like the Most High said, I'm gonna make you God before Pharaoh. Those of us in the awakening, we need to be Sonini Nanini to the false prophets and the false gods and to the false people.
And that's why I stated that people need to watch that video from our brother Yanata. He tells us we have to start lifting our mind and ourselves up at a higher level of understanding on who we truly are.
Right.
Stop saying you're from the Most High, but I'm not going to say nothing. I'm not going to say nothing. I don't want to do nothing. But then you're saying at home you're from the Most High, but you don't want to do none of the work.
Yeah.
Most High is not going to give you that ability to become that God, to become that power that he uses to throw down the enemy.
Yeah, I mean, I had a chit chat with a sister today that was parked next to me. She said, you just put a lot of questions I had on my mind together. She said, that makes a whole lot of sense now. So trust me, there's people out there that they need to understand this.
So pray and ask the Most High, send me the people that are hungry for what you have given to me.
Yeah. Okay, we've been on there a couple hours. All right, so it's a lot to digest, but like I said, brothers and sisters, I'm gonna keep working to seek the Most High's knowledge and wisdom and others that will help me do the same. And I know Brother Alex will do the same, and we're gonna continue to push forward because what you call yourself doesn't matter until you say, if you truly Bena Kongo, then we need to act like Bena Kongo. If we are truly Maleki Congo, we must act like Maleki Congo. Period.
Yeah, we are here as servants of the Most High and not of ourselves. Let us all try to do that and not fulfill our own desires, but fulfill Tatan Zombies in all his ways.
All right, so Zola Quingi, Sambololo, and Inaweza ya Congo Kutwala. May ya Congo reign.
Forever.